Why is it when you know what you're doing, you suddenly decide you want to throw it all out and try something new? I'm not sure I can plan this book in the way that I've been doing before. Some interesting things that have happened for this book that have not happened for any other book. Look at those clouds. Watch me get rained on. It's not flowing. Let's get to planning. It has been about a week since we came back from Crete, and it's probably been 2 weeks since I've seen you on the vlog at home. So I'm trying to think of who I am, what I do, what I need to do, where I'm at, all of that stuff. It takes me a while when I've had a bit of a break to get back into things. So I'm at that stage, all fun and games. So lots of caffeine today, I think. Oh, we're planning, right? I need my book, hang on. This would have been helpful. So, planning is going well. I didn't necessarily do loads while I was in Crete. I honestly had so many thoughts. I took 3 books with me. Do you know how many I read? I was away for 4 nights, by the way. 3 books, 4 nights. Do you know how much I read? I didn't even finish the book that I was reading. I was probably like halfway through. I've been back a week and I've still got this much to read. Yeah, that was wasted luggage space. Anyway, I don't even know what I was saying. This is going to be a theme for today, I think. Whilst I was away, I did do some planning. I didn't do loads though, in all honesty. But in the week that I've been back, I've been doing a bit more planning as well. And honestly, planning is a lot of thinking. There, I've said it. There's not a lot more going on. It's like 90% thinking and rethinking and overthinking and underthinking and thinking all of the things. And then 10%, what did I say? 90%? 95%? To be fair, it's probably like 5% writing. I can't remember what I said originally 5 seconds ago. So I've done a lot of thinking and I've done writing down. And that's how my planning is going. But actually, no, my planning is going really well. I'm very happy with how everything's going. What have I managed to achieve? A lot of my initial planning all gets done in my notebook and it's more of like a journaling exercise. So most of that's done now and I've sort of fleshed out more scenes. I've then finished up with drafting a blurb and a tagline. Oh, there's a cute little robin. Oh, I've never seen a robin before. Hang on. I've obviously seen a robin before. I've never seen a robin in my garden before. I'm in a new build and so birds, like there was just, when we first moved in, which was a long time ago now, there was just no birds. No birds at all. You would go outside and you wouldn't hear any birds tweeting and it was so weird. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, stop it. We now are getting birds, but we're getting like wagtails and starlings. I think that's what they're called. But we've never had a robin in our garden before and a robin's just come by and I want to take a video of him for you. He keeps going away. I'll keep my eye out. Anyway. In Crete I was drafting some taglines, which I did, and then I need to draft the blurb and I sort of left that because really I need to do that like pen and paper first. And just like jot down some ideas and then probably transfer that over into a computer document and do some more bits on that. So that's one thing that does need to get done today. But from then on, I went to my more computer stuff, which was more the deep diving into character. So yesterday I finished my deep dive into the male POV, who I mentioned before is sort of the secondary character. He's still very much a main character, but in terms of the main storyline, the lady is the main one who's going to go through like the biggest emotional arc. But the guy had felt a little bit flat, so I'm really glad with what I've come up with for him and sort of upped the stakes a little bit more and fleshed out his background a little bit more and why he is the way that he is. And I think I've come up with some really nice ideas for him, and from that has created more scene ideas and just fleshed out the story more, which is great. So I need to do that now for the female character, the main character. Then something that is going to be very specific planning for this book, which I've done for no other books because this is purely a plot point in this book, is the fact that he has a list of must-haves for the lady to help him find a date. So it's all this matchmaker. I think I've said this before, might be forgetting. So it's all matchmaker for her friend's brother, and she originally thinks he's asking her on a date, and he's not. He's just asking her to find a date. So she has to cover it up and accept. Well, she's accepted with thinking he was asking her on a date. She then heads into this and she's like, no, I'm covering my tracks and I will be finding this man a date. And so she sort of grills him about what does he want in a date for this work event. Sorry, I've literally got a scene of the birds in my... God, there's so many birds. Oh, there's another new bird. All the new birds just want to be on YouTube today, but they won't let me film them, so there's a must-have list basically for him, and she's expecting it to be like hair colour and eye colour and body shape and sort of quite superficial, but oh no, he surprises her and comes out with a very deep and meaningful must-have list, and I've got to figure out what that must-have list is. So that is something that we've got to plan as well, which I don't think will be too bad. I think I've sort of added a few things already just based off of his history, what he's seen in his parents' relationships, things like that, that he is going to aspire to. Because what I then want to make sure is that basically there are scenes and points or moments in the book where you see this must-have list in him and her. So he's actively trying to find this and he is already having it and he's completely oblivious to it. So that's something that we've got to do. From then on, it is a case of plotting out the book, which is very exciting. I just do like a short paragraph summary of like what this scene looks like. All the scenes sort of pop up a bit like a movie in my head, so I plot them out, write a short little description of what that is. Then the only other thing is the end scene. I haven't written the end scene and I've put that off a little bit because I feel like normally it's a little bit earlier in my planning process that I write the end scene, but I didn't know what the end scene was. Then that clicked for me what it would be, so now I need to write it. But I'm thinking actually what I'll do is I'll sort of plot everything out, then I'll write the end scene. I think that makes the most sense for this book and how the planning is going so far. Some interesting things that have happened for this book that have not happened for any other book. I have been writing scene ideas down as I go along. So as I was going through and planning, I actually came up with some different scene ideas and I thought, I don't want to lose these. What I've done is opened up a document and just started jotting things down as they come. So that's great. And another thing was I wrote the first chapter. Now I know I need to write the end chapter or the final sort of climax, but I never write the beginning. I just literally woke up one morning with this sentence in my head. So I jotted it down, like I noted it down because I was like, oh, I want that to be the opening line. I mean, it might change, but that's what I thought. And then I kept writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, and the first chapter is done. So that's never happened. It's probably quite trim as it stands, but that's progress. I've already got words written down. So by the time I start actually officially writing this book, I've already got the beginning and the ending done. I'm impressed. Planning is going well. I've just got to carry on. So write the blurb, finish characterization for the female, do this must-have list, plot out the points, end scene. 5 things to do. We're getting it done this week. I've said it. Let's get to planning. Hi, so another thing off of my to-do list on planning. I have done the blurb. I'm not entirely sure whether it will stay like that or whether I'll rewrite the whole thing. I do find it the hardest thing to write, and I know lots of authors feel like that because trying to condense this huge story and all of these elements into this tiny little thing, and you've got to sort of hand select the information that you want and need to show. You've got to make it really entertaining and hook the readers and make people want to know more, but not give too much of the story away, but give enough of it away to intrigue readers. And it's really difficult to do in less than 200 words. So it's never the funnest thing to write, but I do think writing it at the planning stage really helps because then the story isn't too big at this point. And so I don't have to sift through all of these things and try to pinpoint what is important. I'm working on the crux of the story, so these are the elements that should be in there, in theory. I also find it really difficult to analytically look at what I've written for the blurb and decide whether it's any good or not, and decide whether it does the job of a blurb and whether it hooks readers and is entertaining and intriguing. And so I don't know. We'll see. I think with some of these things, it's best to write, leave it, review it, come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes and go, is that actually any good or not? I also think it's really quite nice to do it at this stage because I admit in the past, I've literally come to release a book and realised I've not written a blurb. And then to be like, oh man, that is literally the worst. Yeah, it is best to do it now. Whether it stays like that, whether I remember to review it any sooner than release day, who knows? But that's another thing that I'm ticking off of the list. Next thing now is the must-have list, and then we're going to get to the plotting. Fun and exciting things. I think this is probably now I'll be on my computer, and this must-have list might develop. Obviously, like I said, I want it to reflect him and the female character so that it's like, yeah, clearly these people are meant to be together. And then I'm thinking that might develop as I plot the story as well, because if there is more scenes that I need to add, it might add to this must-have list. So that's my grand plan now. Also, what I was meant to say to you is I've got my new book for my book club, which is this weekend. Actually, it seems like it's come around really quickly. The book I chose was Cackle by Rachel Harrison. I'm almost finished reading it. It's very different to what I would normally read. It has spooked me a few times. It's not like overly spooky or thriller. It's a very tame horror, in all honesty. There's just a few spooky things. I got lulled into a false sense of security when I did start reading it, and I was like, this is just so nice. It's just like a small town vibe. Love it. And then I was like, ah! There was a bit that did freak me out, and I kept thinking about Joey from Friends when he reads a scary book and he puts it in the freezer. So I did think I might need to do that. I haven't needed to do that. There's times where I just put it down and read it when it's not nighttime. What do I think of it? It's very bizarre, is what I think of it. The main character, I don't think the main character is likeable. She's a teacher that then gets bullied. And apparently she's got quite a lot of experience in a New York school, and then she goes to a small town school and she gets bullied. Believable? I don't think so. She has this really weird obsession with this witch, and it's a bit stalkery. She comments on how she smells all the time and how pretty she is all the time and how she's like this most amazing, incredible person. And she's not like a nice witch. She's not like fairy godmother witch. She is like curse you and make your life hell witch. But apparently, according to the main character, she's just like the best thing ever. Yeah, I'll finish that hopefully before the end of this week so that I can discuss it. That's going to be fun. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that. And I feel like it's slowed down my reading. I feel like it's got me into not a slump because I'm literally only reading this, but I want to move on and I want to read some other books. So, must-have list, plot, end scene. We are doing good. We are on a roll. Let's keep going. I am pleased to report back that yesterday I finished the must-have list for my male character, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I just did a big brain dump of some possibilities, then I tried to narrow it down. I combined some of them. I suppose it's about 6, but some of them are like stable and supportive, so 2 points in one. And I sort of came up with a paragraph that he would use to sort of present these and like figure these out like in the scene, which is likely not how it will exactly be in the book, but I think that's a really positive sign that I could imagine how he said these things. As I go through the scene plotting, which is now the next step, I want to make sure that I tie these into the must-have list and make sure that I'm showing that this couple has all of these things and more. So I'll be sort of referencing that back. Also, did you notice the purple behind me? Because I have a light stick. How cool is this? And it just literally throws up any colour light. Woo! Any colour light that I want behind me, which is great because I still live in a white new build box, which hopefully will change at some point. But me and my husband love to procrastinate, so likely not. But how cool is that? Although it does look like a lightsaber, right? And I know if my boys find this and realise what it does, it will be a lightsaber. They have 10 lightsabers already. That will not matter. So this needs to be protected at all costs. But it's cool, right? It just throws up a little bit of light behind me. Amazing. Anyway, next step, plotting. We are so close to getting this done, and I'm excited for the next little step. Everything that I've been doing up to this point all enables this part to, fingers crossed, go really smoothly, and for me to just be like, I've already got all of these ideas, this is just culminating and putting it down into one so that it flows. Let's get on to plotting this book. Why is it when you feel like you finally have your strategy, technique, plan down, when you know what you're doing, that you suddenly decide you want to throw it all out and try something new? I'm not sure I can plan this book, or that I should plan this book or plot this book, is plotting in the way that I've been doing before. Feel like, and maybe in recent books I feel like maybe it's a bit restrictive. And what I really want to do is just get a load of post-it notes with all of these ideas down and just swap them around and put them here and then there and then note this one and then add this one here. And I don't think I've got post-it notes though. I might go on a post-it note hunt because I feel like I should have some somewhere. So I might go on a little hunt for some post-it notes that probably have no stick on them. and see if I can do it that way. I've been just sort of brain dumping roughly where things would go. It's not flowing. I mean, I could probably shoehorn everything in. I just don't think I need to. I don't think I need to have it that this is like the inciting incident and that this is the new way of life and this is the first conflict and then this is the second conflict and then this is the end, and I need so many chapters for the end, and it's feeling restrictive. And I feel like at this point I know that that's what needs to happen and it will happen, but do I need to put these under categories, or do I just need to list them out and be like, yeah, and then maybe sense check, yeah, this makes sense, this is, everything's escalating, it's not going from like big thing right at the beginning to tiny thing right at the end. That's not how I'm thinking of the book in those terms anyway. Let's just try something new, why not? Just making loads more work for myself, and I wanted to end this vlog, but it may never end. Let's try to find some sticky notes. If not, I'm going to cut up a piece of paper and make index card things. Let's try it that way. This is going to be fun. So head into the local shop because I'm pretty sure I've got post-it notes, but I cannot find them. So I'm going to go pop to a local shop to see if they've got some, watch them not have any, and this has been a wasted journey. I was at a shopping centre this morning. I could have picked up some post-it notes. I've been meaning to buy post-it notes, but no, I wanted cute post-it notes, so I didn't buy any. Honestly, watch them not have any post-it notes, and this was a complete waste. Try something new. Great idea. Also, look at those clouds. Watch me get rained on. That was a waste of time. No post-it notes. So I'm just going to cut out some paper and do it that way. Mission failed. got my cards here. There is a lot of them. And realistically, these are all scenes. So I would expect a scene to at least be a chapter. I suppose there could be a few that I can combine, but there is a lot. I'm going to spread it out on the table, do a final review, see how I feel. That was good. I liked that. I cut up a lot of bits of paper, but I basically used them all. I've got a tiny stack left. I think I'm happy. Let's see it all laid out. Okay, I admit I haven't done the end scene. And there's a reason. I'm justifying it. I might be trying to make myself feel better. But I just decided that actually the planning of this book, my 19th book, so I should have a system now, right? I feel like the planning of this 19th book, everything went out the window and things just was a bit different. And actually, I enjoyed that. I had my plan. I did stick to a lot of it, but new things happened and I adapted and I changed some things up. And I like the way that it changed. So, as I was going through and I was like, I'm done with all of my planning now, apart from this end scene, just felt real resistance to writing the end scene like I have for probably this whole series. Just book 6 will just not write that end scene as I have done for all of the other books. Part of me thinks, is it because of the book that I've just finished, where as I was going through that end scene, I wasn't happy with it, and that was the first time. And so am I thinking about that and resisting doing it again to avoid that situation? Possibly. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it's a thing and I'm doing it. I've come to the decision that I'm not going to write the end scene. Deal with it. So yeah, I feel like things have changed and I'm adapting and that's great. I did flesh out my scene cards slightly, not for every single scene, because there are some scenes which are literally a few words on these cards and I have no idea what they're going to look like. But I know that they will come the more that I flesh out the story as I'm actually writing. So I'm not concerned about that. That's happened before. So we're going to go with the flow with that as well. So what I'm taking away from this whole planning is that it's okay to change things. And actually sometimes that can invigorate the project and get you even more excited. And I think as this is now the 19th book that I've planned, I have to accept that I know what I'm doing. Oh, that feels really big-headed of me to say. But I have a writer's instinct now for how my books should be. And it's okay for me to change things up when I feel that instinct that it needs to change. I also really liked doing the index cards because I got to sort of have a play around and be like, no, add that there, and no, I think that needs to go there, and it makes more sense for it to go there. And it was so much easier to do that in card form, like physical form, than it is to do that on the computer because you've got that overview of the whole story. So I think I'll do that again. And obviously you came to Crete with me and I didn't film loads. I didn't do a lot of planning. I didn't do a lot of reading. Not sure what I did. But I hope you had fun coming to see another part of the world with me for a few days. But what's next, Marie? I hear you asking. Something crazy. Because we are going to write 50,000 words of this book in November. And in order to do that, we have to prep, people. That's right. We are doing a Preptober video. We are going to try and hit the ground running, and we're going to try and get this book, the last book of the series, completed by the end of the year. And 50,000 words in November should mean that is doable. I am scared. Can you tell? If I want to write 50,000 words in a month, bearing in mind I have not been writing consistently this whole year, then I have to write an average of 1,600 words every day. Yeah, we've got a plan here. We've got to set myself up for success in order for that to even be remotely achievable. So that's what's going to be in the next vlog. And then after that, in November, we're going to write 50,000 words in 30 days. And you're going to come along with me and see whether I achieve it. Fingers crossed. It is possible. I've done it before. I know it's possible. It's just going to be really difficult. Okay? It's going to be really difficult. But we're going to have fun. We're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. I'm sure we can achieve something. There's going to be progress. Whether I win November or not, there's going to be progress. And that's always a good thing. If you did miss the previous vlog where I started planning this book, you can go ahead and check that out. And don't forget to subscribe so that you can see the Preptober vlog and all of the fun things that are going to come up in November. See whether we can write 50,000 words in 1 month. Sorry, the more that I say it, the more I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself? Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me to finish planning this book. I will see you in the next vlog. Happy reading.